Hey everyone, welcome to the Bible Belt Bros podcast. We are here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains, Andrew, in the forms of tornadoes. The rain came down and the floods came up. No. I don't know if you guys have heard.
No.
Probably not. You probably don't care. Tulsa has had a historic flood in the last few weeks.
Yes.
And we had this big dam, which, Andrew, I got one thing I want to just say right off the bat. Can people please learn how to spell the correct form of dam when they're talking about a dam that holds water?
Right.
I don't know how many times I've seen it incorrectly spelled
right
on Facebook.
Because they think it's the cuss word.
And I'm like... And they're not doing it on purpose. Like, there's people that'll do it on purpose as a joke.
Right.
Like the dam, you know, like, but there was people that was just like, guys, you are just totally giving Oklahoma just a bad rap.
They're just confirming the stereotype. They're not giving it the bad rap. It already has the bad rap.
It already has the bad rap. That's correct. And so with that, I don't know, that was just kind of frustrating seeing that already.
Right.
But luckily for me, I flew out on a Monday. We had a family vacation to Universal Studios, humble brag.
Yeah, you weren't even here.
I wasn't even here. And then that first day,
excitement.
We had like, what? Well, tell us, what were you going through? Because I was just like watching and going like, holy crap, my wife would be freaking out right now.
So first, I was trying to figure out who I was going to call to go storm chase with. Because you were out of town.
And I'm married now. And
you don't do that fun stuff anymore. You're lame-o. I'm married and have a kid, and I still storm chase. Well, want to. I don't have anybody go with me. So I mean, it's not really fun going by yourself.
Shay did give me she said, you know, storm chasers, how much they work a year for the new. So she's like, if that's one of those jobs like snow cone places where you work 6 months out of the year but make a full come, she's like, then I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm like, I might have to.
I don't even think it's 6 months.
Yeah.
It's like 2 months.
It's Oklahoma. It's like just you chase a tornado once a day, and
for 2 months, and you're good. I mean, now these storm chasers do actually chase them through multiple states.
Yeah,
they don't just stop.
But those guys that work for the news, I think is what she's talking about. That they're always like Vaughn and Ron and John who are chasing these tornadoes.
Yeah, they're all at a separate location. Just in case a tornado pops up there.
You can see their GPS on the map as they're going through the town. Yeah.
So I did the same thing every other Okie would do. I grabbed a beer. I went outside and sat on my tailgate and watched them come in.
Yeah.
I didn't have my shotgun, or I would have grabbed that.
To shoot the tornado?
Yeah.
Why not?
Everybody knows in Oklahoma, you shoot it, it turns around.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was actually watching some memes. Or not watching, reading memes on Facebook, and I saw one. Oh, man, I'm going to have to look it up and share it, but it was something like, you know, when a northerner sees a tornado, they're all screaming, saying, take shelter. When a southerner sees a tornado, they run. And when a Midwesterner sees one, they grab their ranch and go outside, sit in their lawn chair, and the tornado says, oh, just squeezing by.
You can share that on our Facebook page when we release this.
It was
podcast.
Funny.
I had heard, just watching through people's reactions on Facebook, because nobody can shut up about it, you know.
Right. It's big news.
So we had major rain with these tornadoes. Usually we don't get as much rain.
Well, you got to think it wasn't just us getting rain.
Yeah, it wasn't just, and that's where it gets confusing,
right?
Because it wasn't just us getting rain, and so the flood levels of this huge Keystone Lake that's in our town was getting so high that they were having to release more and more water.
So you got to give more backstory than just that, Dustin.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so one, we are the only flood-controlled dam from here to the Mississippi. And so everything south of us depends on Tulsa. So Little Rock all the way down to the Mississippi on the edge of Arkansas. All those towns along there, Muskogee and Tahlequah and all those, all depend on us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to hold in water, which is why our Keystone Lake is so big, is because it has to hold in water for all those cities below us. Because if we just let that go, everybody is getting wiped out, essentially. Now, the Arkansas Basin, which is what all these lakes and rivers and streams and everything from Colorado to Kansas, Oklahoma, all drains in to the Arkansas River, which drains into Lake Keystone, which is not a recreational lake by no means, but people use it for recreational purposes. It's a flood control lake. It's the only reason it's there is for flood control. And so, yeah, we have so much drainage. So when it rains in Colorado, or the snow melts in Colorado, our lake levels will go up even higher. But the snow hasn't started melting there yet. So, matter of fact, I think they just had a couple more feet of snow this past weekend. So when that melts, yes, the rivers will rise again, but hopefully all this flooding is gone by then. Mm-hmm. But with the historic rain in Kansas, because they were getting flooded up there, the historic levels in Oklahoma and Colorado, it all led to this great flood. It was a perfect storm, essentially.
A perfect storm. We hadn't had a flood like this since the 1980s in Tulsa.
Right. You and I were alive.
And we were alive, but not here. And
wouldn't remember it if we were.
Exactly. We were barely alive. Basically, for about 4 days straight, Tulsa was under a tornado watch or warning.
Yes.
And constantly under flash flood watch and warnings.
Yes.
Sand Springs, where we live, has been in a flood warning for
we
days.
haven't just been in a warning. We have been flooded for days.
We have been flooded also.
Yeah. And it's been more than days. It's been...
I keep getting an alert on my phone that says Sand Springs flood warning issued. Yeah. I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
Can't you just tell us when it's over?
Part of our town's underwater. Yeah. Thanks for the warning.
Shay was freaking out about our house because we're like a mile and a half away from the river, would you say?
Yeah.
And so...
yeah, you would be. Because the boys' home's probably only half a mile from here, so yeah.
Yeah, and so boys' home's flooded, and they're only half a mile from us. So Shay was freaking out, but our house is we go uphill from there, and so I knew we were safe the whole time. But my wife just likes to freak out.
But see, your flooding wouldn't come from the river; yours would come from the creek.
Yeah,
that flooded first.
Mm-hmm.
And so she kind of has a right to be, because that creek does intercept a lot of that water before, which is why the community on the other side of the highway from the river flooded before the community next to the river.
Right, the water rushing up the creek. I felt like we weren't, because we're on the top of the hill, and even where we are now, we're still on top of the hill. I think the creek is at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah,
on my neighbor's side. But for us, it was a good way to get to know our neighbors. Because as we're leaving town, we're like, which neighbors do we trust to know that we're gone for a week? And so we went to the older couple and just was like, hey, here's our number. If something happens, we have tons of trees. If a tree falls on our house, can you just let us know so I can figure out, call Andrew, basically.
Right, pretty much.
And say, can you deal with this? Because we've had a bunch of tree limbs falling with these high winds that are coming through, and it was just been insane. We had this huge tree branch. You probably saw it as you pull in our driveway that I need to cut up that had fallen.
Do you think that's huge?
Well, I just mean as far as for wind, just to it just come down in a wind. That wasn't when the tornadoes came through town. Okay, you just go with it, Andrew. Gosh,
sorry, I'm a realist.
Okay, so we have this tiny branch outside.
There you go.
And we worried that if a bigger branch fell on our house, that we would not have a house or a hole in the roof and then it'd get flooded. All that to say, you guys were waking up at 6:30 in the morning with tornado sirens going off.
That's what you think.
You didn't wake up?
Nope.
According to Facebook, many people in our town besides Andrew was awoken in the morning hours to tornado alarms.
Yeah, so Lisa and I both got the alerts on our phone, and supposedly the Sand Springs alarms went off. We didn't hear them.
And you're not even half a mile from that thing.
Right. And I didn't wake up. Neither did she. We woke up and we're like, oh, Sepulpa got hit by a tornado. Uh-oh. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened.
And with all the rain and stuff, these trees are just falling. Like, it was an F1 tornado. Like,
there were 2 F1s and an F0 that hit Sepulpa.
That hit Sepulpa. But because the ground is just so
saturated.
Yeah, these huge trees are just toppling over, and it's just insane. So, like, the damage is a lot more than what it should have been, really. With the floods and stuff, it's caused a natural knee-jerk reaction for relief efforts, and so that's what we're going through right now. The water just recently has receded.
Yeah, just in like the past 2 days.
In the past couple of days, and so we've already kind of getting started. As soon as one area is kind of cleaned up, we're getting in there. And obviously, I've done some Katrina efforts back in the day, and so it's just a lot of house gutting and just mold and nastiness. Is that what you're seeing?
Ooh. Yes.
Out there?
Yes. I was just thinking, there's going to be mission trips to Tulsa now. Well, to Sand Springs, Oklahoma.
Exactly.
I didn't even think about that.
That's what our pastor was asking help for. Was like, hey, if you have mission trips that you're thinking of going on this week or this year, I'm sure that there's plenty that we can be doing through the summer. So yeah, when I went to Katrina, that's all it was these neighborhoods that just needed gutted so they could rebuild. And we're going to have a lot of that going on here. And it's really sexy, Andrew, to jump in at the very beginning.
Right.
And we're getting a lot of help now, which is great. A lot of local churches getting together and helping now, getting... I'm not judging them, or I'm not trying to, like, come off that way. But, getting the picture, helping the relief,
right.
And... But this kind of
Real
thing...
quick, let me jump in on that. I had a real estate buddy, or not real estate, a insurance buddy get in trouble for that because he was helping with the relief efforts and not getting pictures, and his corporate came down on him for not getting pictures.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
Because, that's kind of like doing something to get something. Like, I've done T-shirts and stuff for, for past tornado things, and I've also even now help people raise some money to go towards it. But it's obviously feet on the ground is one of the big things we
just
need
warm
help.
Bodies.
And because not everybody can do it, and those who are doing it are doing a lot of it, and so then they're getting exhausted, and they have financial resources that they're having to put off to be able to get it done, and just with time off work and vacation time and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not trying to say like, oh, these people are just doing it for the picture, but there's a lot of people who are,
right,
and a lot of people that once they get the picture, they're done next week or next month, and this is something that's going to be a while to clean up. It's not just an overnight. It's not a 1 week mission trip kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely going to be going on at least all summer, if not longer. And, honestly, it'll probably be going on for the next 8 months, minimum 8 months, because some people they still have to clean out their house. Mm-hmm. Then they're probably just going to demo some of those people will be demoing houses, and some will want to build on that same site, some will want to move out, some will sell off, and then somebody else will come in, demo, and build up. And building right now, it's about 6-7 months. So even if they just went in today, demoed everything, we'd still have to wait for the ground to dry before we can even start building.
Exactly.
So
I want to throw this out there. If you are a youth pastor, if you are a youth pastor or your church does summer mission trips, consider Tulsa, Oklahoma as one of the places that you would like to go for your mission trip. I'm sure it'd be very cost effective to come here. There's a lot of people that'll put you up in their church for a free place to stay and all that stuff. So we'd love to have you. You can Facebook message us. We get you in touch with the people that we know that are conducting relief efforts. I think there'll be a link in the description of a way that if you want to give financially, supporting it that way, I think it's sandspringsfloodrelief.com, but I'll put it in the description so I don't have to look it up right now. But so I beg you, basically, if you're in this area or looking for something to do in this area, we are in need now and later.
So, one thing I've taken pride on with Oklahoma is, well, especially, not necessarily, well, yeah, it is all Oklahoma because Muskogee flooded, we flooded, El Reno got hit by the tornado. Big thing about Oklahoma is we're not out yelling for federal assistance because we're a neighborly state. So everyone just goes and helps their neighbor here. And that's what I've been really proud of is everyone
I saw
has
something like
up.
that on Facebook, like, or maybe somebody had a video on it where they were just talking about, like if this happens somewhere else, people will be like, "Where's the government?"
Right, yeah.
But we're just like, we hope that the government does come in and help. That's kind of what we pay them for. But if they don't, we already have each other's backs right now. So that's,
we've already began the fundraising to fix stuff.
Yeah, we're starting our own fundraisers.
Right.
We're starting our own groups to get and start. We're doing work already, not waiting for the government to come in and start a FEMA camp or whatever. So.
Exactly.
So yeah,
now,
I agree. That is nice.
I will say, people, I have to try and somehow be PC about this. And that is not my strong.
Maybe that's why we don't do a live stream podcast.
Yeah.
Is just in case.
Yeah. Well, people are complaining that they didn't have enough warning to evacuate. And yeah, somebody didn't come knock on your door and say, hey, you need to evacuate. But we had weeks of knowledge knowing that all this rain and these tornadoes were coming. Common sense says if you live by a river, you might flood, especially since that area has flooded before.
Well, isn't it technically a flood zone?
No.
I thought there was a church that Fisher Baptist Church was down there, and they were not allowed to rebuild because it was in a flood zone.
It's not a flood zone, which is why they were not required to have flood insurance. If they were in a flood zone, they would have been required to have flood insurance. Mm. It should be a flood zone because it flooded 30 years ago.
Right. So this historically has flooded.
Right. But it is not. Now, there were some people who were smart and went ahead and paid the money for flood insurance, but it was not a flood zone.
Okay. But yes, like you're saying, the warning. Like, one, if we could predict the weather, we would have started releasing water earlier.
Right.
To make sure it didn't get so full.
Get our flood pulled down.
But come on, guys. How many times have you seen the weathermen predict the weather and it be completely wrong?
Especially in Oklahoma.
So
it's the only job you're paid to be right 10% of the time.
And I remember weeks leading up to it, they were like, hey, there could be some historical tornadoes and downpours that we haven't seen in a long time, like weeks before. But they were trying not to give this panic.
Right.
But so many people were already panicking. And then, so to say that you had absolutely no warning.
Yeah.
Like, I knew, like, I was following things just on my Facebook feed. I wasn't following it. It was just popping up of updates on the Keystone Dam, releasing more water.
Exactly. And you weren't even in the state.
And I wasn't even in the state. I was in Florida enjoying the clear skies and the non-allergy air that was able to breathe in. And then I come to Oklahoma and I get stuffy.
Yep.
And can barely breathe, want to die, and I'm still here, though.
Dusty, suicide is not a joke.
Suicide is not a joke, Jim. Millions. No, wait, that's identity theft. Never mind. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions suffer every year.
Yeah. I mean, there was plenty of warning. I don't.
There's even people being warned that was like, I'm not leaving until I see water coming up my street.
Yeah, and guess what? That water came up your street.
Water came up your street.
You saved yourself $30 one day in a hotel. Good for you.
Shout out to like Samaritan's Purse. They have a big setup at our church parking lot.
Billy Graham disaster.
Billy Graham disaster relief also has set up in our church parking lot, and they were here like before the waters were receding. Like
they got here quick.
And so shout out to them. Like they're just an organization that is on it when it comes to getting there, getting boots on the ground, and recruiting volunteers and organizing it. So
it is amazing. Their whole setup is they just roll in these semi trucks and just go to work day one.
Yeah.
They don't even have places to stay at that point, and they're just going to work. And it was amazing. So they send in the military we call it Advon, advanced troops, Advon. So they sent an Advon, and that Advon set up. They got their base location where they're going to base out of. They got their semis set up. They started their volunteer lists and call sheets and networking and all this stuff. And then yesterday, their nationwide volunteers flooded into Sand Springs.
Like there was not enough parking spaces in our parking lot to cover.
And that's a good sized parking lot.
Yeah. It's a shopping center parking lot.
Yeah. And their volunteers just flooded in. I was like, holy crud.
Yeah.
I went to house church last night, and I was just in awe of how many trucks that they got. Like, everyone is driving these big box trucks and U-Hauls, and there were more semis showed up. They brought in showers for their volunteers, and wow. It gave me chills.
It's just awesome to see organizations out there that are spreading the love of Christ and doing it quickly and not waiting to be like nobody asked them. I don't think anybody asked them to show up. They
they got here before any calls of help went out.
And shout out just to we live in a city that churches aren't competing with each other. Our churches work together with a lot of these volunteers system. I mean, okay, they compete with each other, but there's a lot of communication and a lot of working together.
The Ministerial Alliance is amazing.
And so when you have like some church shouting out another church for help for dinners and stuff, instead of saying, no, we can provide dinners, come here instead. That's kind of what I was more leaning
I get
towards.
that. Yeah. But so I did hear from someone with firsthand knowledge that a certain church was like, oh, we thought you were going to come to us. Like, does it matter where they are parked? I mean, technically, yes, our church is closer to all the devastation than your church. Mm-hmm. And if that one bridge goes out, sorry, they're all stuck on your side, yet it's this side that needs the help. So, I'm not going to name names.
Not naming names, but dropping names. Not naming names for those of you in Australia who are listening who have no idea what we're talking about.
One of our churches was kind of butthurt that Samaritan's Purse didn't park in their parking lot.
And I would understand that because...
I do. It draws a lot of attention.
It draws a lot of attention. Our church is in like a shopping center area, so it's on a major... it's a quick in and out to the major roads.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I understand that. Our church doesn't even look like a church.
It doesn't.
For the most part.
It looks like a grocery store.
People who don't go to church probably just think they're setting up in that parking lot. They probably have no idea it's Church That Matters that's helping facilitate some of that.
Organize that. I don't know, though. You tell Rusty that, he'd probably take offense to that. Because we do have a big sign, 2 or 3 big signs.
Well, I'm just saying that...
Like church here.
Well, yeah. And if that's your only way of outreaching, then yeah, sure. But which is not ours.
Right.
We're doing stuff all the time. I don't want to. If he ever actually listened to this podcast, I don't want to think that was a
Rusty,
thing.
if you listen to this,
Megan, if you tell Rusty what we said,
Megan, it doesn't count if you tell Rusty. But Rusty, if you personally listen to this, let me know and I'll give you $100.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Megan, you cannot.
Rusty.
Nobody can tell him.
Rusty,
he has to find it on his
own.
own.
If I tell you to tell, we split it.
You do know I just said nobody can tell you.
Oh,
you have to find it on your own.
Andrew, I need $50.
Yeah, well, too bad. And our pastor doesn't lie. So he would tell me if you told him.
You're saying our pastor... No, let's not go down that. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
So, Dusty, let's move on from this.
Okay.
I have a new segment.
Uh-oh.
To start.
Okay. A segment.
It's called Confession.
Are we Catholic now?
We're going to be Catholic.
Okay.
For this segment.
Okay.
So you're going to be the priest.
Okay.
So, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Do you not know what to say? Come on, Dusty.
Hello, child. That's not the same.
No. It's how many days has it been since your last...
I've never been to...
I've seen enough movies. I know this, though.
Okay.
All right.
Start over.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
How many days have you sinned?
No, how many days has it been since you're... Okay, let me get a script for you, Dusty.
Okay. I need help.
Confession.
I've never went to confession.
Confessional script.
Here, let's do it one more time.
Hold on. I have to see... I'm just curious if there's a script now. But you know what? I'll just make it easy for you. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been...
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, hold up.
Hold on. Hello.
Hold on.
I'm opening the door.
Hold on. 365. That's how many days are in a year, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Times, how old am I? 34? Okay.
Hello.
Actually, they don't open them because you don't see their face. You just have this screen in between you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 12,410 days since my last confession.
Wow. 1 second, let me finish my Candy Crush. Okay. Continue.
Father, I have cussed at someone this week. Now, he did deserve it, though. Does that make it better?
In some ways, yes. But it's not up to me. Continue.
That's it. I just cussed.
Is that what is all the... Do they give advice?
I think they do, and then they go say Hail Marys and stuff like that, but I don't know.
Well, you are forgiven, my child.
Oh, thank you.
The Lord is
pleased?
Is pleased with you.
Yes.
Go and sin no more.
Roger that, Father.
I don't
know what they say either. All right, we'll get our confessionalism down, guys.
Get out of here. There's a line.
Yeah, there we go.
We gotta get this party moving.
Am I supposed to kiss the ring or something? I don't know.
Well, you can't see me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Maybe you can have a little door and you just stick your ring through there.
If I could build stuff, I'd build a confessional box, and then we just have that as our segment.
Dude, we can do that. We can put cameras inside each side.
My friend Ricardo, had an art show, and he built a actual coffin. And then I went over to his house for something the other day, and he has it in his living room. I was like, Rico, you're the only one that I know that would have a freaking coffin in his living room.
Yeah.
And it's okay. All right, whatever. So maybe he can build us a confession.
You know, we did that segment on cussing, right? And,
yes.
I don't cuss, but
didn't.
I did.
You do now.
No, I don't do. I did once. No, I haven't cussed since I got out of the military. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But yeah, something occurred and it just came out. It just flowed naturally.
You had a hurt back, right? And then somebody came and just slapped it. Did he not know?
He didn't know.
Okay.
No. But he has... I have to be PC, so he's really strong.
Well, let's say that is your call sign to go up to a certain pastor in the church and slap him on the rear, and then recruit other people to come up to said pastor and continue to slap him on the rear as hard as possible. So you just got what you give.
Listen, I don't tell them to do it as hard as they can. I just say get them.
You told me to do that as hard as I can.
Oh, did I?
And I hurt my hands.
Good job.
Yeah.
Do you still do it?
No.
You're a failure then. My true soldiers do it every week. Okay, I only have one of them.
True followers. Is this a cult?
Yes.
You have a cult inside the church?
I do.
Butt slapping cult?
No, so this guy, he and I, we've been actually hitting each other for a long time, but we haven't hit each other in probably about a year or so. And so when he did it, it was just out of the blue. But he didn't know my back was hurt. But I don't ever leave my back exposed. And so...
Yeah, because you have PTSD.
Yeah, so if you see my back exposed, there's probably a reason. And this Sunday, I had actually set a truce. We shook on everything. We're like, we won't hit each other. I'll call off my army. We'll have a Passover meal. We're good. And so I did. I called off my army.
And Little did you know.
And
there was one rebel in there.
Right. He had a spy. No. No, it wasn't him at all.
Well, Andrew, there's a Hillsong song. I don't know how to say that correct. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Hillsong.
There's a Hillsong song.
Yeah.
It just sounds weird. And the bridge goes, "Your love's too good to leave me here." So, because even though he loves you as a cusser, you can go and sin. His love is too good to leave you in a life of cussing. He wants to bring you out of it. So go, my child, and sin no more. Cuss no more. Leave your back never exposed again.
Amen, Father.
Amen.
All right. Nope, I'm out of confessional.
Okay. Wash my hands. I know you have to do that, don't you? Wash my hands.
Oh, yeah. We do have the holy water. Okay, let me get some.
Dip your hand in your coffee.
That's the holiest water we have in here.
Yeah, it is true. It's holy. Oh, man.
I mean, it is from God. Clearly, by the how good coffee is, it can only be from God.
Yes. That's true.
I think it's from the fruit of the forbidden tree.
Thanks for tuning in to the episode, guys. We appreciate it. Again, the link in the description if you or your church would like to come and do a mission trip for flood and disaster relief. Floodnado disaster relief. It's really what that should be.
Give us a shout out. We'll get you hooked up with the church.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of them here that are helping organize
Tell
stuff.
us the denomination you want. We got you covered.
Yeah. If you have a denominational preference of which Christians you want to help and which ones you don't.
So I will also say the Church of Christ rolled in their disaster relief really fast, too.
Oh, really? They're on the other side of the river, so I don't know.
They're by my house.
Oh, by your house?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I don't look that
direction. There was one
direction.
semi-truck that came in, they unloaded it, and they pulled out.
Oh, okay.
But it was still...
That's cool. That's,
yeah.
I just...
They were there lickety-split, too.
Churches forgetting their denominations and denominations and helping...
Just coming
Christians,
together for the
non-Christians, whoever is in need, and that's really what we should be doing.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. We'll see you guys next week.
Not if I see you first.